Hey guys, Pawns here with the Path of Exile 2 build video. It's been years since I've done a Path of Exile build video in general, so let's get this underway. What I have here is a hardcore solo self-found character, so this has to work with just garbage you find lying around on the ground and never die ever, because then you're dead. I've made it all the way to maps. This is granted the beginning of maps, and it's a bit of a work in progress style character, but so far it's functioned quite nicely, and I'm really enjoying the results so far. Now, it is this weird eclectic kind of build. It is a Warbringer, dark effigy, spell totem, chaos damage using ancestral spirit minion hybrid build thing. So it's kind of split damage between chaos and fire. And it's a bit of a mess, but I mean, it works, and I'm having a lot of fun. It's not one of the the hyper meta using a broken mechanic that's probably going to get patched out, like super endgame farming thing, but there's no fun in that. If you want that, you just copy paste a build from somewhere and whatever. We all know those. This is just more of a highlight of something amusing I came up with, and it works. Again, in hardcore solo self-found, where I just, crap I found on the ground, quite literally. So yeah, just the essence of what it is, or the general idea, is that I wanted to really use ancestral spirits in an actual minion build. And I'm summoning them via the dark effigy totems, which are typically limited to just one totems. You'd only ever get one ancestral spirit. I'm bypassing that limit with overabundance, and hopefully later on I get access to there's a neck piece that increases totem amounts and stuff like that, but for now we're limited to 2. There is another way to bypass that to get even more totems all the way up here. So yeah, I am well aware of its existence. Yeah, where totems are 100 spirit. Obviously, I don't want to use hundreds of spirit just to get totems out, because I'm using them to summon lots of minions, such as Skeletal Arsonist. I also want auras and stuff like that. Basically the majority of my damage still does come from Raging Spirits and Skeletal Arsonists kind of doing their usual summoner thing. The Ancestral Spirits are there to really enhance everything else, actually on multiple fronts, because they're also actually going to be enhancing the Dark Effigy damage, which is a notable portion of damage. As I said, this is a split Chaos and Fire for now. Generally speaking, I found Ancestral Spirits, there's not a particularly good set of support gems for them, so they're basically all just kind of, again, there to enhance things. So they maim stuff that might get replaced, comorbidity and envenom, so they apply more chaos dots, so Dark Effigy goes off more often, and just some minion master for the hell of it, because there's nowhere else to go. The actual specific supports are not really a huge deal. I wouldn't pay too much attention to that. They all kind of make sense. But the gist of it in terms of Dark Effigy's damage is coming from the fact that I apply Essence Drain, I apply Contagion. The Flammability Curse is also applying Impending Doom, which, as far as I can tell, actually counts as a source of Chaos Dot-like effect. So it's actually an extra stack for the Dark Effigy to shoot at, and a Decaying Hex. So there's a lot of sources of chaos debuff, essentially, or dot, kind of, that are making 2 Dark Effigy totems go off really quickly. On its own, it actually also has a chance of applying its own debuff. I don't have that many right now, because again, solo self-found. But I do have at least one gem here where there's a 7% chance to poison on hit, so they can potentially apply poison dot themselves. Alright, beyond that, again, this is a work in progress. There's a lot of skills to actually press. Like, I gotta, basically, the cycle in combat is I press Flame Wall twice, I'll cast a Flammability, I'll cast a Contagion, I'll press Drain Essence, I'll get 2 Dark Effigies down, and then maybe I'll throw out a Pain Offering. And basically, I can go through all these spells in a cycle, and they, they'll all still be up or functioning, but it is quite busy. I'm looking to probably automate some of this in the long run with maybe the use of a cast on minion death, stuff like that. It'll replace this sort of stopgap Grim Feast, which is not, I mean, it's there, but it's more just kind of like it's nice. On the defensive front, I'm doing a split thing between having some hit points, having a good amount of energy shield, and having a good amount of mana. And mana is essentially acts as health due to mind over matter. Granted, this may not be the most efficient thing. It'd probably be just easier to do if you went straight up full energy shield. The crazy standard energy shield is busted, get a ton of energy shield stuff, but that didn't seem as interesting, and I don't know. I get some pretty good survivability out of this as it is right now. Also, like a crap ton of energy or a mana regen, so that basically sustains itself quite easily. So, yeah, that's kind of the gist of it. Oh, I should also mention, in the long run, I'm looking to kind of get... this is the basic skill tree kind of outline, but I'm also looking to get probably a whole bunch of increased skill effect duration. So totems stay up longer. They stay up very short as of now because of this whole thing right here that we talked about earlier, overabundance, but supported skills have 50% less skill effect duration, which is kind of annoying. We sort of offset that with persistence. So the totems do stay up for 5.6 seconds, which is not the greatest. I wanted to get it up to probably like at least 8 seconds a pop. But I guess we can also, Ancestral Urgency is the third thing we have in there. But, yeah, why don't we... oh, that's the other thing, too. Because I'm using Firewall, Dark Effigy, it shoots so fast. Both totems shooting really quickly. They're getting a lot of benefit out of the plus damage on Flame Wall, which, it's all basic skill stuff. I'm not going to go over that. But that's kind of the general outline of what I'm going for here. This is, again, obviously only being level 60. What am I, 68? There's a lot more things I want to get, but there's a lot more things I want to be doing in general. So just kind of to show the basic cycle. I'm not even going to open a map. Let's just, I don't know, go here. Open a new instance of that. Takes a second to load here. I thought the last patch was supposed to fix loading times, but hasn't seemed to have done too much for me. And I think we got to turn the skeletons back on. Oh, actually, this is one maybe pseudo noteworthy thing. These are just crappy skeleton warriors that come with my scepter. They have Last Gas, Fire Exposure, Infernal Legion, pretty standard stuff. So that's how I get extra fire exposure, because really the things I don't do ignite that often. So it's a reliable way of igniting people for fire exposure. So anyway, let's go ahead and turn our Skeletal Arsonists back on. There we go. Oh, and of course I mentioned probably Cast on Minion Death is going to at some point replace Grim Feast. And there we have it. I've also toying with the idea of doing double curses via a number of means, but again, that's all theoretical at the moment. So the basic pattern is we got our army here. Get down a whole bunch of flaming skull dudes. I'll put down a curse so that basically 2 applications of Chaos Thing apply to someone or anything they hit, and it also obviously makes them, there's the fire debuff stuff. I'll shoot out a Contagion. I'll shoot out an Essence Strain, which currently chains. I want it to be doing more, so it kind of spreads a bit more easily. And then I will drop some totems, which will summon 2 random ancestral spirits, so do a variety of things. And I'm not going to get into what each of them do, but they're kind of handy. And that guy buffs, it's pretty good. So yeah, let's just go find some enemies. They'll die pretty quick because, again, as I said, like, it takes a little while to get everything set up, but when everything's set up, there's just kind of a lot of crap that's happening. You get into a bit of a flow of it. That's just kind of the gist of it there. We'll do maybe one more pack. The order, you can kind of mix it up. Get the totems down first, get the totems on second. The thing about totems is I got to recast them fairly frequently, because they will disappear. And there's a bit of a trick timing of it. I just started, so my timing... I just started playing today, so my timing's a bit off. But as I said, the biggest weakness for this right now is it takes a little bit to get going. Once it gets going, it's fine. It'll just shred through everything. But there is that little bit of setup time, which I'm looking to, again, over time, negate via a variety of means. Like, actually, why don't we go over it really quickly? Totems will get placed faster by things over here. I'm going to rework this portion of the tree later when I respec. Probably also going to be getting more block in the long run, too, so that's an extra measure of defense. And just kind of more cast speed where I can, just so everything just goes faster. So yeah, there you have it. Very sort of basic outline of the... in the title, I'll probably have a more concise description of what this is. But the Warbringer, Chaos Spell Totem, Damage, Ancestral Spirit Summoner Warrior Mage. Thanks for watching. Bye.